There's a lot of people that are neglected in art. I don't know if it's who made the paintings or what, but I don't know. I know black people are never really portrayed realistically, and not even portrayed. I mean, not even portrayed in modern art. Just for a change, you know. Well, I don't know if the stereotype of the artist in the studio, you know, quietly working is, you know, I don't know, is really true anymore. I mean, there's always photographers coming to the studio and stuff like this. A lot more of your daily life is sort of documented and kind of put out there, you know what I mean? And you go to a restaurant and they write about it in the post on page 6, you know. And
recognizing that the declaration of a renewed faith in painting could use a sacrificial child to enliven it, and further recognizing that if he were to officiate, some of the spilled blood might revive his own standing, Warhol found a miracle in Basquiat. Here was a young artist who already had mythic status, street smart with the touch of a natural, a rebel looking for the security of an understanding surrogate father. Warhol realized that Basquiat, as a wild child in an expensive suit, could provide a much more unsettling image of the uses of money and leisure than either the older artist's lost superstars or the relatively accessible decadence of Studio 54.
Jean-Michel Basquiat had rock star status when he was alive and was an artist living in New York and had great success after his untimely death. He sort of like was known and is still known, but his work was rarely shown, especially in Europe. Why is that so?
Well, I think first of all, he passed away very young. He had fast success, and the works were dispersed to a lot of places. Most works until now are in private hands, and that makes it very difficult to organize the exhibition, especially a retrospective. Also, the works are very fragile and large in dimensions, so they're difficult to transport. Also, they're very expensive, so to insure them and to organize an exhibition costs a fortune. And then also he had the image of a rebel, and so I think some of the people were hesitant of appreciating him for his art, and his fame and infame was sometimes overshadowing his great merits as an artist.
You did a great job assembling so many works from different collections. Can you name a few of the works like you're especially proud of that you got them?
Oh yeah, there's actually many. There is 160 works in the show, over 80 paintings, many works on papers and some sculptures. For us, one of the special works are the Philistines, because the Baylor Foundation was founded by Ernst and Hilde Baylor. They had an art gallery, and they early on recognized the talent of Jean-Michel Basquiat. And when he was 22 years old, in 1983, they organized an exhibition where for the first time he was shown not with other young artists, but with modern masters, with Picasso, with Miro, with Rauschenberg, etc. And so, and Jean-Michel Basquiat was chosen for the catalog, and the catalog cover was the Philistines. So to get this work back, which is now in a great collection with the Bremens in Miami, was a dream for us. There's other works who are belonging today to other creative people, musicians, actors, fashion designers that appreciated him, and we're very proud that many of them who are very private agreed to let the work go for this exhibition. So yeah, there's a couple of works that we were delighted to see them, because even the experts have only seen them in books. And even the Basquiat family and many of his friends have seen works here in this exhibition for the very first time that they only knew about but never seen in reality.
Basquiat It was a very talented artist, as I said before, and he worked in many mediums. How would you characterize his work? What's, is it color? Is it like the graffiti aspect of it? Or what would you say is the most important aspect of his work?
Well, there's several. One of them, he's a painter, great painter, but also a fantastic draftsman. And he often combines painting and drawing in one. He's working with images, but also with words, and also with numbers. So he's combining different sources of information.
As Warhol's influence quickly spread around the globe, Chinese dissident artist Ai Weiwei hand-painted the Coca-Cola logo on a vessel that's thousands of years old.
The idea that this American brand kind of colonizes, in a way, the history of a different continent is pretty trenchant and deep statement.
Cuban artist Felix Gonzalez Torres channels Warhol through a bittersweet message about the AIDS epidemic. His hands-on art, a 175-pound pile of colorfully wrapped candy called Untitled Portrait of Ross in L.A. It's a tribute to his lover who'd predeceased him in 1990.
So as you take a piece of candy and you put it in your mouth,
yes,
and if you know that Ross weighed about 175 pounds before he began to waste away, you have a piece of his body in your hand, and as you eat it, you have a very sweet sensation in your mouth, and the candy pile is beautiful and sparkling and lovely, just as Ross was. But as we take it away and we eat pieces of him, he disappears.
Next, some of Warhol's most famous silkscreen portraits, showing his expertise as a master colorist. Even as a child, he was obsessed with celebrities. This is his 20 Marilyns from 1962.
I love in this picture how the orange plays off the turquoise, and also how he draws your attention to the fact that it's repeated by kind of messing up her eyeshadow or messing up the registry of her lips.
Check out the other artists' interpretations of celebrities in all their glory or not.
We love this sculpture by Jeff Koons of Michael Jackson and his famous pet chimpanzee, Bubbles, done in this very, very gaudy, gilded style in ceramic, almost as if it's a little tchotchke you would put on your shelf, but instead blown up to larger than life size.
In the next room, called Queer Studies, examples of shifting identities.
He himself was never all that clear about his own sexuality, and so we start the section with this mysterious and wonderful camouflage self-portrait from 1986.
Alley is a uniquely Warholian experience.
We end the show in this spectacular gallery of Warhol's cow wallpaper and his silver clouds, both from 1966, creating an environment where that's interactive, that is fun and fantastic.